Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Everybody, we join us in the pledge of allegiance. Mr. Wilkerson, would you start as you're the closest to the flag there?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Due to an unfortunate water leak in the boardroom, we've come down to another room here, so I guess everybody can find us. Mr. O'Donoghue located it. Yeah. Scheduled us out. Everybody here today. Okay, let's start with the approval of the minutes of the July 25th, 2016 special meeting and the July 26th, 2016 regular meeting.
I move.
Carol?
Second.
Second by Larry. Is that an all yes?
Yes.
Okay. Public comments? There's a thank sheet, and we don't have anybody signed in. Okay. So we do have a presentation report. Deon Lucas is going to talk to us about the campaign for grade level reading and literacy grant. Deon. She's come back from Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, been kayaking on the Colorado River, dropped my phone in there, now it doesn't work, so we're all going.
That's kind of, it doesn't surprise us.
No. With myself and that phone, we'd have a hard time keeping up with each other, so. What I wanted to talk to you all about tonight was the campaign for grade level reading. The state of West Virginia last year joined in with a campaign for grade level reading. The Campaign for Grade Level Reading is a nonprofit organization, and its campaign focuses on having children read at third grade level by the time they get to third grade. So really the big emphasis is early ed, working back to when kids are in not only utero, but infancy all the way up to preschool age, and then first and second grade. So we started on last year with this campaign. We had to write an action plan, got approved through the action plan, and then our county was approved for a certain amount of money that we could use for our county to help promote the campaign for grade level reading. So research shows by the end of third grade that students who are reading on level will have a higher graduation rate in high school. Kids who are reading pre-K through second grade, their teachers are teaching those children how to read. They're learning basic foundational skills for reading. So by the time they get to third grade, not that they're learning to read, but they're reading to learn by the time they get to third grade. That's our whole purpose in this campaign, so that they can read to get better information with more complex literature. So with that being said, the Campaign for Grade Level Reading, then through the state of West Virginia, focuses on leaders of literacy. So every county in the state has a literacy lead, and every county has leaders of literacy. So here in Lincoln County, I have a literacy team that I work with, and we meet monthly on activities and initiatives, and we look at data, reading data, of how children are reading in Lincoln County right now. So with last year being the first year, we haven't seen the results. We haven't got the results back yet to see if we've seen any gains for this first initial year. But with the leaders of literacy, we have 5 components that we have to work with. We have attendance that we have to work with, because we know if kids don't come to school, they can't learn how to read. We also have extended learning, which means after-school programs, which means summer programs. We also are working with school readiness, which was kids pre-K through 0 through age 4. We also are working with high-quality instructions, and we just finished with the help of Mr. King in Title I, we finished a reading academy this summer with Jennifer Ashlock to help our teachers get them some more information on high-quality instruction and what it looks like to teach reading and the new strategies that they can use in their classrooms. And we also have a system of support that we are doing here with families and teachers and students. And with that system of support, we're going to be talking about something that I'm going to need your approval on in the very next few minutes. But with our grade level, with our leaders of literacy, you know, we've done the mobile bookmobile this summer. We've given out close to 700 books this summer. Miss Midkiff, Tammy Midkiff and I have manned that mobile bookmobile. We've been up in Dogbone, over in Bulger, up at Harts Creek and Ranger Bottom, so close to 700 books. We did the 4th of July parade, and Miss Midkiff had Ann had gotten a phone call talking about, she was talking to a woman, or they might have been in a store, that her granddaughter had gotten a book in that 4th of July parade, and said she was having to get on the phone and read that book to members of the families, so, which was really good. So with this, so what we're doing with the summer program part is we're trying to minimize the summer reading gap. And I think we've got a really, really great first start with this mobile bookmobile and the things that we're doing in the summer. Summer Slam, Miss Northern Kersey 21st Century Grants have been doing lots of summer camps to help us with that also. With our new initiative, what we're wanting to do this next year, we rewrote the grant. We're going to be looking at data with this, with our new grant. The grant was fully funded again for the second year. And they're always looking at projects that's going to be self-sustaining, that's going to be able to go, and we can do the program every year without having to add more money to that program. So one of the new initiatives that we want to do is we are looking at bringing a literacy dog into this program. I have spoken with the literacy leads at the West Virginia Department of Education, and they are fully on board with this, with us. And so I want to show you just a little clip of how we will be able to use this literacy dog in the county. Okay?
I don't know whether you'll be able to see here, if you'd like to get out in the audience there where everybody feels comfortable.
I'm sorry, but this is just so wonderful to see.
Might as well kill some water. Don't wait long, you can be.
Oh, well, I thought we were on this screen.
If any comes up, there it goes.
Don't have eyes in the back of the head, it's like what tells kids.
Finally tonight, a simple approach to solving a problem that frustrates millions of parents. A child who just can't get into reading. So many different things have been tried. Here's one that shows promise. It involves just the child and, believe it or not, a dog. New studies show that it can be remarkably effective. Ron Claiborne found an excellent example.
On a Saturday afternoon at the library in Norwalk, Connecticut, 8-year-old Cavante Hay met Brazil, a 4-year-old whippet.
Well, why don't you read that one?
Cavante chose Henry and Mudge, a children's book about a boy and a dog, sat down on the floor and began to read to Brazil.
White baby bunny. She had soft ears.
Cavante is a second grader who's insecure about his struggles with reading.
Mudge didn't.
But after his short time with Brazil, he felt he had made a friend.
I love him a lot. This one?
The concept is simple.
Monster or Mr. Pudding.
A dog is non-judgmental and comforting, so it takes the pressure off a child.
If I made a mistake, there's no one around me to laugh.
And if you make a mistake, it can feel risky or uncomfortable. But if you're practicing with a dog, you don't mind making the mistake.
A University of California Davis study confirms it. Researchers found that children who read to dogs in a 10-week program were more enthusiastic, engaged, and confident. The reading skills increased by 12%. The children who did not read to dogs showed no improvement at all. This was Cavante when he started.
Henry Short.
And 6 weeks later,
Bird said to Henry's mother. Henry shook his head. When you read to a dog, it makes you relax. You don't have to worry about anybody staring at you. It's just you and the dog.
and on his latest reading test, Cavante did show improvement,
Every day, no one.
thanks to a friend who was willing to listen.
Okay, said Henry.
Ron Claiborne, ABC News, Norwalk, Connecticut.
What an ingenious idea. We're going to try that one at home.
So there you go, an ingenious idea. I can see children doing this at school And then going home, reading to pets at home, reading to stuffed animals at home, and just keep practicing and practicing. So,
So you're gonna explain to us how this will be utilized, right? The dog.
correct, yes.
Yeah, we feel like it's places.
Okay, so what totally brought this to my attention was I had been working with Becky Ferguson over at Hamlin on some various projects and activities with her teachers. And I saw Haven in action over there at Hamlin Elementary, and I thought, wow, what an ingenious idea. We have the funding for it. Why not get one that we can take to all the kids in all the county, throughout the county? So what my plan is, Mr. Priestley, is Ms. McKiff has come on board, and we also have another teacher at West Town that has come on board to be, we would all three be trained as handlers. The dog would travel, because I travel to all the schools in the county. So the dog would travel with me throughout the county, and then on the days that I have meetings or I have to go to conference, then those ladies as handlers, the dog could stay at West Hamlin and still service kids if I'm not in the county that day. They say that you don't want to visit a child, research shows, every day with the dog, because then the novelty of it wears off and they get used to it. So as I travel to schools, we would identify children who could use the extra reading help at the beginning of school, because we're going to do a phonics assessment on children when they first enter school this year. And then we can just take it from there. I'm in schools every day of the week, so it wouldn't be a problem whatsoever for the dog to be out with me. The thing is, and it actually is a good thing, because it actually helps me to get in classrooms and stay in classrooms, specific classrooms, and I'm not being pulled a lot. Because as a handler has to stay with the dog. I just can't take it in and leave it in your classroom and say, I'll be back in 30 minutes. Because, you just don't want to leave it in there like that. So, and that's one of the stipulations. My plan is to go through the same breeder and trainer that Becky did at Hamlin. I found them very reputable. I looked online and got great reviews from those programs. I've talked to the breeder, I've talked to the trainer. We're totally on board with their permission and ready to go. Actually, our puppy, if we get approved, was born 2 days ago.
You haven't named it yet, have you?
No, not yet,
Okay.
not yet.
Now, the actual ages of the kids that the dog would be, you and the dog, or you all and the dog would be working, are these like
Pre-K.
K through 3 kids, or
Okay,
what?
pre-K through 3. Mostly kindergarten through 3, yes. But if we see a need in another classroom and the time is there, why not let that child read to that dog? We'll share that dog,
And as far as have you had the opportunity to talk with any of the school teachers?
Oh, they're so excited, yes.
I mean, they feel they could incorporate that use.
They're very excited, because I mentioned it to teachers, and they'll say, oh, I know a child that would benefit from that greatly. Oh, I know a child that would benefit from that greatly. So, I don't think that it would be an issue whatsoever. Ms. McKiff, would you know kids that could benefit from it?
Absolutely.
And Ms. McKiff's afraid of dogs, and she's all.
That's a big step for you. I see the need, we need.
What kind of a dog are you looking at getting?
It would be a Labradoodle, because they're hyperallergenic. I want the medium size, because I don't want a big, large dog, because kids are afraid of dogs. And then I don't want one too small, Rowdy, because I'm afraid somebody might sit on it and hurt it or something, So it would be a medium size.
I have a good practical question.
Okay.
Is there any way these breeders can cross-train that dog to help kids with math?
Are you still working on that?
We gotta start somewhere. This gonna help them with reading, let's help them with math too. The dog, the bark, patty paw, something, help them with basic mathematics.
I will put that into the trainer and see That's a great question.
Dogs bark and pat, you can teach them like maybe up to 3 or 4.
Lassie could talk and.
That's right, yeah. And what we want this dog to cost, it's not unreasonable to ask for a little special
But
training.
no, not for what it's gonna cost, that's for sure.
Now, me, back to cost, did I hear somewhere in your presentation that your grant was covering the
Ms. Calvert,
cost?
yes. The dog itself will cost probably around $10,600 before we travel out there and our training center. Yeah, very expensive.
Where does question mark gonna live?
They don't live with me. I'll take care of all of the vet bills and the feeding, and then when I have to go away, that will be Miss McKipp's responsibility. So, but yeah, I'll take care of all the vet shots. And we have, I want a female. Nothing against the men on the board. But, and then I'll have to have her spayed when she gets back and everything.
You may have any questions or anything? or-
Well, I do.
Yeah. Okay,
The dog is going out with you during the day to the school.
yes, sir.
How is it utilized during the day? Let's say a typical day, you're out to, say Duval.
Okay.
You take it to a classroom while you're,
I have to be in that classroom with
You're
that
go-
dog.
okay, I
The
understood
handler
that.
always has to stay with the dog.
I understood.
That's why I'm gonna take Miss McKiff, and Beth Pritchard also is gonna go with us to be a trainer, so that if I'm away, then they'll be able to be the handlers of the dog.
Okay.
Because we always want it to be in the presence of kids, so kids can benefit from the dog.
And you're gonna be able to do this every day?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm out in the schools every day. That's why you see me running everywhere up and down the hallways, because I'm always running late. I always tell people running late is my cardio, so, you know. So.
So will you be able to have, say, one child in the classroom that's reading to the dog and working with the dog while you work on other things with other children?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes, that's the whole, you've got it right there. Uh-huh.
You know, you said you're getting pulled a lot. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's like when you go into school sometimes, teachers are like, Dion, can you do this, Dion, can you do that, you know? So it would actually be a focus that I could say, oh, sorry, I'm going to this classroom, I can't do that, I'll be back to you later, you
So
know?
it won't
Yeah.
actually interfere
No.
with your duties?
Right, right, yes. As far as my preschool teachers, I've got to get them trained a little bit, so,
All right.
Hey, there's a solution for that.
okay.
Don't get a Labradoodle, get you a Rottweiler. They ask to pull you, just tell it to bark or something. Train them right there. Y'all start putting a thought into how broadly you train these dogs.
Right.
Math, guard duty, repel people you don't want to talk to.
Brownie?
One thing that I liked about this dog is for testing, we can use it for testing, like the state testing. They sense fear or anxiety in kids. So this dog, like if I would be in a room, it would like walk up and down the aisles. And if this dog senses test anxiety of a child, it'll sit there and lay its head on their leg. And the child can pet its head, and then when the test anxiety is gone, the dog will move on.
Hey, you rent this, can we rent the dog and your services? I'd like to send that dog with my daughter who takes her ACT.
The therapy dog, it would be a therapy. dog.
I'm just saying, I mean, that's a way to cover some vet costs, some food bills.
We'll talk after this, if I get approved.
We might bring it in here every now and then.
Now, while you're in the classroom with the dog,
Yes, sir.
this is going to be the only student in the room?
Nope.
No?
No. I'll actually go into a classroom full of children. And like, they might have like a reading corner back there, or some teachers will have like beanbag chairs, or like a reading center, and the child can just go back there with the dog and read to the dog.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. It seems like the child should be isolated from everyone else when he's with the dog, he or
Right.
she's with the dog.
Uh-huh. Actually, it's probably a huge treat for that. It would be a huge treat for that child to be back there.
Sure.
Yeah. And they'll still be in the classroom with the kids. So it won't be like, and I can say this too, that it won't be like that one child will go back there and read and then I'll leave, you know. I'll be in there for, you know, an extended period of time with those classrooms, because the whole process is to get these children reading at grade level and identify these kids early so that they can practice. So, and just like I said a while ago, I can feel that they're gonna practice this in the classroom, but then I can see it going over and spilling over to the home, to where they'll be reading to their pets at home, you know, be reading to their stuffed animals at home if they don't have pets, so.
See, what I was getting at, in the video, the child was completely isolated from everyone else.
Right,
So that there was no embarrassment, is
Right.
poor reading.
right.
So in this case, he would not be.
No, he wouldn't be isolated like that. That looked like that was kind of like in a library or
They
something.
would, they would be set off though
Mhm,
from the
like in
other
a reading
students you're
corner,
working
yeah.
with. Which is,
Yeah.
I mean, to my way of thinking, it's actually better than having them isolated in a room,
Mhm.
because you are conditioning them to read in the presence of others. Initially, the other is a dog, but the other people are there. The dog takes away from the stress of having to read to others because they want the dog there.
Mhm.
So I can kind of see it both ways.
Yeah.
And I see the other instructors working with the other children, their focus would probably not be on that child. I mean, it would be on their instructors during that time.
Not only that, it affords Dion the opportunity to work with those, in a co-teaching model, to work with those instructors on the strategies that we've been practicing, that we've been supporting and blending through Title I and Literacy Grant, so that it gives her an opportunity to meet with those teachers in a non-threatening environment as well. So not only is she monitoring that one child, but she is talking with the teacher, talking about Ashlock strategies or other data that they will be covering, Bibbles data, that kind of data. So that gives her an opportunity to use the time to be that instructional coach as well as a therapy dog person.
So your time frame is what now? We gotta act quickly, or,
That would be great.
I
Well,
mean,
the dog, what it is, our name is attached to a litter of puppies. Is this what you're wanting to know, Mr. Priestley?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
it's
think.
attached to a litter of puppies. At 8 weeks, the puppies are tested. So out of that, they'll take service dogs first, then therapy dogs, and then if they don't, after that, then they'll take just like regular companion dogs. So we're actually not guaranteed a puppy out of this litter, only if they're service dogs that have been identified as training. I mean, therapy dogs. Service dogs are taken first. We're therapy. We've been a therapy dog. So if they all tend to be like service dogs and companion dogs, and we don't have a puppy out of this litter, then we have to wait on the next litter.
well, you said it's 2 days old or whatever. that's what-
Yeah, we've been assigned a litter, so I've been working on this.
Assuming the right one was there.
Uh-huh. And
That's
then,
not too smart, not too dumb.
right, what the in between. But then they'll test him at 8 weeks, then at 8 weeks, I had him as a parent in school.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. And then, after that 8 weeks, then they go to the trainer for 12 weeks. So we're not looking at actually getting this dog until fall, late fall. And then we would have to travel to Indiana for 2 days, 2.5 days for training.
Like Ms. Ferguson did when they
Mhm,
went out there and stayed.
And all that would be covered under my grant. So the county wouldn't be out any money.
Mr. Midkiff?
I just think
Any
it's a
thoughts?
great idea. Dion came to me several weeks ago, and I know the success that we've had at Hamlin PKA with Raven,
Haven.
I keep saying
Say it right.
All right.
It's all right. She's got 2 names, I can't keep her full name, but, yeah, I think it's wonderful.
And as far as, I can't recall exactly how that works on liability issues and things like that.
We're covered.
The dog itself comes with a $2 million liability policy, lifetime.
Groundwater thing for me.
I don't like to spread that a whole lot, you know, but, yeah,
Well-
she does come with her own policy also.
Anybody have a general consensus that would be okay? Everybody on board? Seems to be something we want to be willing to partake in.
Great, super, thank you very much, and I wholeheartedly, once we get the dog and we name it, invite you to come out to the schools and see her in action.
Well, I think you ought to bring her out to us. I mean,
I can do that.
you know, we approved this one for Hamlin, and I've never seen the dog.
Oh, haven't?
No,
She
never
can-
seen it in action. Nope.
Well,
We haven't even gotten a report of any, of her accomplishments since they've gotten her, that I'm aware of, unless it was the one meeting I missed.
Have you seen her, Sean?
Yeah, I've reported in the paper many times.
Yeah,
Well, he was in our office this week, wasn't you, Mr. McKim?
She was here
Hey, when was
Monday.
your-
Yesterday.
I follow her in the Macon Journal.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Self-protection. Okay, just work with Mr. Bukitt.
Okay.
Let me ask why you're here about this. Just explain, please, how we work with students up to kindergarten. When do we begin to get involved with children up to that age?
Well, we are a collaborative partner with Southwestern Head Start. You mean the younger
Yeah,
children?
I'd just like to
Okay.
know how that just
Yeah,
evolved.
we are a collaborative partner with Southwestern Head Start, with our preschool program. And with that, you know, Southwestern Head Start, they do a lot of home visits, and they also have an early ed program, which is called 0 to 3. So they go out and do home visits on children that are identified as low income,
Up to 3 years old.
0 to age 3.
Okay.
And then the preschool starts in at age 4, so they're covered at age 4 also, because once they come to us at age 4, Head Start doesn't relinquish their services, they continue those services.
But as far as the school system, it's age 4?
It's age 4, and 3 with special needs. But Rhonda Kersey and I have written a grant, and we're going to be starting the Born Academy this fall. Here, we're piloting here at the Board of Education for next year, and it's for children and families ages 0 through 3. And it's a parent education program that we're going to do here next year. It was funded through Toyota.
You say for, with Southwestern, how do they identify these up to 3-year-olds?
Income based. It's all income based.
Does that take some initiative on the parents' behalf, or?
They have a lot of home visitors that go out and visit homes. And when we do pre-K registration, we ask for income, like proof of income during that. So that's how we identify them when they're 4, when they come to the, if they've not been in a Head Start program.
In order to go to preschool, is there some requirement that they've done something prior?
It's universal pre-K. Every 4-year-old has a slot in our classrooms.
They don't have to have partaken in that.
Absolutely not. And even if a parent is identified as Head Start, or a family is identified as Head Start, they can refuse services. They don't have to participate in Head Start. So.
Now, when, for a child to go to kindergarten, is that just an automatic thing? Or must they meet certain criteria in preschool to go to kindergarten, or is it kindergarten just an automatic?
Kindergarten's automatic. Yes, with pre-K, it's optional. Parents can send them or not send them. So, but when they go to kindergarten, it's mandated.
Do we have any difficulty accommodating all of the preschool age children?
No, we never have. And there was one year that we had an overflow at West Hamlin, and we transferred them here to Hamlin and accommodated them. By law, we have to accommodate every 4-year-old. It's in
Do you know
policy.
roughly the number of students, 4-year-olds, that we work with?
This past year, we had approximately 262. Enrollment is down a little bit this year. It's approximately right now about 255. So it's around the mid-200s.
Do you have any idea what percentage of those would be then would go to kindergarten? What percentage could, you say it's optional?
This year was 100%. 100% of our pre-Kers are going to kindergarten this fall. We had, if we would keep one back, it would be because of an IEP, if they just needed another year with an IEP. But other than that, majority, 99.9% of them go to kindergarten.
I'm just thinking the number of kids that go to kindergarten, how many, what percentage have already took part in your our pre-K program?
Last year, we were at 89%.
So 89% of kids took part of that before they went to kindergarten.
We're above state average on it.
That's very good.
Yes. Very proud of that percentage. I'm a numbers person.
After you get the dog, it'll probably go 5 or 6.
Sounds like our enrollment numbers have gone up too, based on what you just said. So that's-
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good.
we've registered a lot this summer, Mr.
That's
Mickey.
great.
That's what we were back waiting on today. We sent out more letters.
Anybody have anything else? Mr. Bishop?
Thank you very much. If you ever have a question about early ed, just let me know. Thank you.
Very informative. Okay, let's move now to the administrative section, please. Do you have a motion? Rowdy makes a motion. Second by Fred. Mr. McKinn.
Okay, item A are out-of-county student transfers for the 2016-17 school year. You'll notice that several of these transfers are pre-K students. It's convenient that Dion happened to be here, and we had this conversation. But
Okay.
these are transfers, these are students, parents have already registered these students for West Hamlin Elementary. Mr. Pritchard, Kevin's kind of held on to these and really didn't need to because the space is available there for these students. As a matter of fact, according to what he told me yesterday, we could actually go 9 beyond what you see here.
Are all these kids at the same school?
All these students will be going to West Hamlin Elementary. So I think we've got 65, does that sound right? 65 students or pre-K students at West Hamlin currently enrolled, and we can
Right.
take as many as 74?
Yes.
Okay. With the pre-K kids, is there funding factored in the overall funding? Are they treated differently than other students?
No, we still get the full
I
FTE
mean,
for
so
those
the
students.
preschool child gets the same, would receive the same funding as we would for any other student?
Yes.
That gets more, I think.
That's why I said that's a good thing. That's
Yeah.
great news that the numbers are.
And that's one reason why I have the pre-K families fill out transfers from Salt Rock. Salt Rock can only take 20, they only have one classroom there. And there's a lot of families down there that want their children to go to pre-K. So I look at it, Mr. Priestley, as, do I want them to go to pre-K, or do I just want them to stay home? You know, they're going to benefit from coming. So if the parents are willing to transfer them to West Hamlin and we have the openings, then let's let them have a year of pre-K.
Well, I agree, that's the reason
Yeah.
I was asking that earlier.
Right, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, Jim.
Okay.
Okay, item B, to approve food service bid extensions as follows through the Southwestern Schools Cooperative for the 2016-2017 school year. Item C is adoption of revised policy effective immediately, which is policy 3120.12, substitutes in areas of critical need and shortage. We do this annually. The only change to policy is just the effective date, for this to be effective for the 2016-17 school year. And of course enables us, when we have vacancies out there where we're unable to find certified applicants, that we can hire, employ, retire, teach, to fill that role.
Is there, as far as the area that they're teaching, is that any area that you weren't able to get someone?
They're
Or is there
listed
certain,
here.
or there's certain areas?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the sciences, the math, the foreign languages, language arts, elementary education, special education. We had 2 last year, Bill, two retirees. So.
So the elementary ed's in there, so that could encompass a lot, couldn't
So that's good.
it? Okay.
See, item D, an agreement with Acme Drug Testing LLC, provides student drug testing services according to the terms of the agreement as required in County Policy 5530.01. Student drug testing effective for the 2016-2017 school year. And the agreement is attached.
I'd just like to say, Mr. Limble, I've seen you, your TV appearance, and you did an excellent job.
The girl lied to me, she was supposed to put on a skinny lens, but she
I thought you did a very good, exceptional job. You came across very well, very positive in nature, and I was proud of you.
Thank you, and if you, I know some of you get on our website, everything is on our website now. Over on the left there's a link to drug testing. It has all the forms, it actually has the PowerPoint. You click on it, the PowerPoint's read to you, you don't even have to read it. And the coaches are on board, and then we've got everything over there, and they're just now getting through it. So this first year, we may be a little slow getting everything in. They may have a few practices in before we get everything, but we'll get on top of it a little quicker next year. Since it's new, everybody's kind of working through the steps there. It's been real positive.
You know, it's generated a lot of comments, and I think Sean has alluded to that. Is there a budget that we have?
Well, what
for this?
we have there, this budget would be testing 20 students per month for 10 months at $15 a student, which would be $3,000.
So,
okay? But we also added an additional $1,000 in case some of those students test positive, we have to send them off for further analysis. So-
$50 a pop.
Yeah, so it's about, right now it's $4,000.
Okay.
We may not use all that if.
Well, something I think needs to be clarified, because I think some comments are that we're spending an extraordinary amount of money here, and we're gonna have to take from other areas and supplies and this, that, and the other, and it's $4,000. I mean, $4,000 is $4,000, but it's not a phenomenal amount.
And one of the comments, it was gonna cost the parents for drug counseling.
That was my next
We have
question.
a drug counselor at the high school, Mary Lasser, who works with the Department of Human Services, who's certified, and they will be offering free drug counseling there if they need it.
Right.
And I would-
Sufficient to meet our policy?
Yes.
Okay, so only if the parent opted to do it with some other.
Only if they opted to do it with someone else, yes.
Yeah. So those were the two main things that kept jumping out. One would be, somebody that couldn't afford to do it, they wouldn't be able to get the counseling, but you're saying that they can go.
It'll be available right at the high school, yes.
Yeah. Those were two things that got my attention. Okay, sorry.
Well, here's one comment I have. That's, the contract is what the contract is, but as this is written, we're basically telling the kids if you test the first week of the month, you're clear to at least the next first week of the month. Because under this contract, they only come once a month to test.
Well, but we don't know what time that month will come.
Well-
They may come the 28th of this month, next month
Second of
they may
next
come
month.
the 5th of the next month.
Got an answer for everything, don't
Well, I mean, from a deterrence is what we want. We want this policy to deter. And I don't guess there's any way we can twist our arm and come twice a month and do 10 tests.
Well, we just possibly, we're contracted, I can talk to them.
I mean, the deterrent effect would be much better, knowing that otherwise, I mean, these kids are not stupid. They're gonna figure out what test we're using. The first time one of them sees the name of the company, they'll go research it, they'll know what the detection limits are, and, if it's the 10th of of September and they test, they're gonna know they have 15 days, they can drink all they want, they won't get tested again.
But I go back to our simulated workplace, I think this is correct. I think last year, the first time we tested, we had 2 students test positive. Rest of the year, we didn't have anyone test positive.
No.
So is there
So that's good news. That's, we hope that's what happens.
Is there anything that says that they're gonna do all their testing at the same day?
Right here, so they come once a month, that's 20 students at one visit.
Okay, I go test on site once a month, testing. Is that what you are talking about? Maybe they can spread that out throughout the.
But it's fair to you.
I'll talk to
I
them.
mean, they wouldn't have to come twice every month, but just a threat and not announce their schedule. I mean,
Right, plus there's gonna be some additional testing through the simulated workplace.
If nothing else, we shouldn't have made public at number 4. Just kept that secret.
I'm hoping we test, no one tests positive,
Okay, Ms. Vicki.
Okay, the last item, item E, a contract with Katie Endicott to provide professional learning for Duval PK8 teachers on August the 7th and 8th, 2016, according to the terms of the contract, is attached and funded through Title I.
Okay, anybody have any questions about that or any of the other items in the administrative section? If not, is that an all yes vote on administrative items?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to finance then. We have a motion. I'll second. Fred made the motion, Rowdy seconded. Mr. Ellis.
We have scheduled invoices totaling $119,636.92, which is attached. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I've answered a few.
Good. I'm sure there'll be more as time goes on. Thank you, Ray.
yeah, come September 1, your grace period's over.
I didn't know I had one.
Well, as a former football teammate, I thought I'd tell you what you didn't know. I owed you that much.
Thank you, Rowdy, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about any of those things or anything else financial office related? want to speak, Jeff, or you just?
No, I'm just
Okay,
thinking
moving
ahead,
back,
I'm sorry,
okay.
I'm just thinking ahead here.
You had a look like you were going to say
Sorry.
something. Okay, if not, then, is that an all yes on the finance item of the schedule of invoices? All yes? Okay. Personnel.
I'll move.
Larry made the motion, second by Carol. And
Hey, make sure you have the revised one there, I put revised one there.
revised personnel schedule. Okay.
Item A, employment of short, long-term substitute professional personnel. B, employment of professional personnel pending FBI, CIB clearance and issuance of CTE first-class permit.
May I, hang on, may I interject something there on item B, or we'll wait till we get to the end? Regarding Brian Lawrence.
What's,
That went to the end?
we'll do that, then we'll ask questions about each one,
Okay.
or comments about each one.
Okay, go ahead. Item C, transfer of professional personnel. If you notice, that is effective school year 17-18 because of the 20-day state put rule that's in effect. Item D, transfer of service personnel. Item E, employment of extracurricular personnel. Item F, retirement and resignations. And the job posting we had for school psychologists, we are abolishing, we'll be reposting tomorrow, because that should have been lead psychologists, and we put the addition.
Okay. Mr. Mickey, do you have a
I
clarification?
just
or-
wanted to interject that with the item B there with Brian Lawrence, he's currently our PRO. With the board's approval tonight to move him into the CTE Law and Public Safety Program, that's going to create a vacancy in that position, and a very important position for which I feel like we want to continue to keep that in place. I think this presents an opportunity for the board for us to look at the roles and responsibilities that this person has to make sure that our needs are being met. And as we move forward, we did a research, some more research here at the office the past few days, and Brenda looked through all of our files. We can't find that we have any written agreement with the town of Hamlin regarding this position. Initially, it was funded through a grant. A couple of years after the grant funding had run out, or prior to, the board was approached about providing some money to help fund the position, which at that time, this was in 2010, it was $25,000. Since then, there's been a couple of other requests along the way, including 2 years ago, when the mayor came to us and asked to bump up what the board was paying toward that position to be increased to $40,000 a year. So I think there's an opportunity for us right now to take a look at that position, to ensure that, again, that our needs are being met. And I think it's something that we need to include on upcoming board meeting for discussion.
Well, school's starting back in a couple of weeks. Are we gonna start without a PRO officer in place then?
Well, it's just the timing, it's possible that we could have the person in place by the first day. The students are back on the 17th, so we
Right.
do have some time.
Well, they can
But
send
not
an
a lot.
officer
We'll
out.
have to post the job and everything, don't we?
It's not our, it's not our
Okay,
person.
okay.
Yeah.
They can send an officer out there anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now, jumping ahead a little, we're proposing, or you are, that we have a meeting on the 10th, right? Next Wednesday.
Just a discussion regarding the position.
Well, I'm saying in general, we're going to ask for additional meetings for personnel.
Right, yes,
Right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What if we include on that agenda a discussion of this topic? And maybe invite the mayor and anybody else.
Mr. Snyder, we
Yeah,
certainly
yeah,
want him involved in
Mr.
the
Snyder.
discussion.
Yeah, any of those people, then we could talk about some of these things then. And then I think that would still give us adequate time, or the town, once again, they're gonna place somebody there, for them to do it on the 10th, and then we would have until the 17th. We'll meet again on the 16th, although technically, I don't know that we have to act on anything. But if we don't have an agreement, is it possible maybe to see if we could get our attorney, Ms. Tyree, to work on an agreement or something?
I've contacted Ms. Tyree today, as a matter of fact, this afternoon, and she is going to help us to come up with an agreement for this position.
Because I wholeheartedly agree with it. We definitely need, a resource officer at the high school. But we need to have something maybe writing, so everybody knows their role and responsibilities. But I can't tell you how many days the resource officer works or what
Well,
activities they go to.
The board should be dictating in terms of,
Right.
because the principal and superintendent knows when we need him and when we don't need him.
So if,
The board should be dictating when he works and when he doesn't work for us.
right. And so if they come, they can kind of tell us when they've been coming, and then we'll see if we feel that's appropriate, if we need to do less, if we need to do more, or whatever.
Right.
Okay. If we can arrange that and have it on our agenda for discussion, and ask those gentlemen and ladies, or everybody who's involved in that to come, then we can talk about it on the 10th. And then once again, the town would be, since Mr. Lawrence, I guess they would choose one of their other policemen.
Officers.
Right.
Right.
Okay, that sounds fine. Anything else on that, Jim?
No, it's
Mr.
all the
Lawrence
information I
will-
have there. We'll pull it together and have everyone here for the meeting next week for discussion.
Is he still an officer right now, as far as you know?
Yes.
Probably wait and see if he got hired.
That's right.
Probably a wise man. Okay. All right, anybody have anything else on personnel?
Just the
Bill?
updated list.
Okay. Now, so this, we ended up posting today, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We'll put out another posting tomorrow, which will end next Tuesday, and the board meeting's next Wednesday, so hopefully we can get some more people hired. We'll get some more people
And
hired.
that's the purpose of the meeting on
Yes,
Wednesday,
yes,
so
sir.
we'll give us one more go around.
Yes, and Jeff and I looked at the state website, I think it was yesterday, there's 75 special ed jobs posted. 41 elementary, 10 PE. I mean, it's unreal.
And not every county.
Not every
posts
county puts them
positions
on there, so it's something. But at Midway, we have a fifth grade that ended today. Most likely we'll have to repost that. We only had one applicant. And we have a first grade, we'll repost. We had a teacher on Boone County will come with us. We found out today she was still under contract in Boone, and they're not gonna release her. She wasn't one of the 40 that resigned yesterday, so.
Didn't act quickly enough.
So, at Duval, we have a fifth grade that ends today, that'll probably be reposted. We have a pre-K special needs, will be posted tomorrow. We have a third grade that become available because Jennifer Black, as you see on the agenda, resigned at Duval. And we have a science position that came available because the person that was in that position moved over to math. That's what they'd rather teach, and they have an agreement where they can do that. At Hamlin, we're okay. Kindergarten, we're still monitoring. Right now, they think they're 10 over. But what we're waiting on is, with the PK back here, we have 41 students right now and 3 teachers. 2 teachers can handle 40, so we don't know how many will come. With the new personnel laws, we can move that person once school starts. So that's what we're waiting on. And the one that with the least seniority is also certified in kindergarten, so that's kind of what we're waiting on.
Can they only have 40, or can they have 46?
20 in each classroom.
PK.
It has.
Kindergarten can have
It has
46,
preschool.
PK
Preschool's its
can
own
only
animal.
have 20.
So,
PK's 20.
But it's depending on space then, right?
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Right. So we can have 40 students.
One time you get to 46, but you must have, or must be in bigger rooms apparently, or something.
Yes.
West Hamlin hasn't changed, but we will have to post for a sign language interpreter. We have 2 students over there that will need help. It's full all day long, so we'll be coming back next week asking for permission to do that. Cow Valley, we still have a math we have to repost. Ranger, PE, Miss Loudon left us.
Where'd you go?
She went back home to Parkersburg. She's been trying to do that for a while, so.
It's a big loss.
Yes, it is. We all agree. Hart's special ed and a health PE at the high school, 4 special ed, the business and a social studies posting ended today. The business, Mr. Miller's working with the State Department. We've been posting that as you had to have a business degree, like the Salmons had, but he's working with them and going like with the CTE, if you have 8,000 clock hours, you know, you can qualify. So he's trying to get all that information, so when we post it, I hope he has it by tomorrow, or we'll follow up and try to get it posted that way and find someone. We thought sure there would be several people apply for that, but there wasn't.
Now, if you have a class, how does that work? If you have somebody assigned to a class and you end up not needing that teacher, that you could move them somewhere else, is that true?
The new personnel laws enables us to move that teacher to any position in the county in which there's a vacancy and they're certified to teach that grade level. That's new, that came in effect 2 years ago.
Now, is that dependent upon the seniority of that teacher or anything?
Yes.
So it'd be like the lead senior at a school in a certain grade level, if you didn't need them, they could move somewhere else?
Yeah, what we've been told is that you start with the most senior and ask that person if they would like the opportunity to move,
To
then
go
you
to
work
another
your way
school.
down. And so if the more senior teachers don't want to move, then the least senior one is the one who ends up in a position.
Okay. Think about that. Okay. Anybody, anything else? Okay on that? All right, then, on the personnel schedule, vote on that. Is that an all yes vote on the schedule?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay, board members, any comments, concerns? Hearing none. Mr. Minkiff, any comments, concerns?
Yes, let's talk about the tennis courts. Olive Hager came to the board meeting a couple of weeks ago asking for some assistance. And gotten with Greg Gosney, and he in turn has had conversations with Olive Hager, with Dana Smith, and some others on what needs to be done out there to finish that project. So the immediate need, and our maintenance men are taking care of this, is a drain pipe that would go between the walking track and where the new tennis court is located. It's such a tight area, and there's a slope there, there's concern that we may have water running off onto the new tennis court and obviously cause problems or issues, especially in the winter months. So there's already been some work completed out there. I know they've got some more work to take care of to get that project, that piece of it finished. Olive has worked with Brian Christ, and Brian has agreed to pay for and have installed a new fence around the tennis court. The only thing that would be remaining that needed to be done to the new tennis court is for it to be painted, for the lines to be painted on. So there's also a need to refurbish the paint and the lines that's on the old tennis courts. Dana had agreed, or had an agreement there with Olive, that if she could come up with the volunteer labor, people who would be willing to paint the new tennis court, refurbish the surface on the old one, that he would purchase the materials. Mr. Gosney has worked with Dana, worked with Olive, and he come up with what that cost would be to the board, which is approximately $6,000 for us to buy the materials. There's a lot more to it than just paint. There's all this prep work that has to be done. I think it's a major project on the old tennis court ground and what needs to be done. I think it's going to be painstaking, back-breaking kind of work. It's going to have to be completed to get that court back in good condition. So I don't have a breakdown of what those materials are. I can bring it to the next meeting or send you all an email to let you know exactly what it is that needs to be purchased. But according to Mr. Gosney, it's going to be right around $6,000 for the materials.
And maybe you say Olive has individuals that can work on it.
Olive has some volunteers, people that's going to do that work.
And is this something that Greg has in his budget to pay for? Or is this something that we're going to be asked to pay for on top of?
We hardly have money in the budget. We can do this.
I mean, in the maintenance budget?
In the maintenance budget. Yes. And obviously it's been an issue for several years now.
Will this put us any closer to being able to have matches there?
Yes. Yes, for boys and girls. 'Cause that's been
It's always been the hang of it. They both could.
so this would be a big step. My understanding, the next need out there, big need, would be lights eventually. Those sports lights.
Okay. Anything else on tennis courts? Anybody have any? All right, on tennis court.
Okay, cross-country, I mentioned to you last week that been a request from the high school for some help with the cross-country team. I've heard from Mr. Snyder today. He's been in conversations with Craig Atkins, who is the cross-country coach. And Mr. Atkins is looking for any kind of help, whether it's, would be an auxiliary coach, or, an assistant, or another full-time paid coach to help. Craig was hired as just a cross-country coach. He's not a boys coach or a girls coach. He has all of them. The issue is not so much with practicing with all those kids, it's when they go to the meets. And then he has 9 meets scheduled this year, this fall, as well as a regional meet and the state meet if he has students qualify. The issue is being able to provide supervision when they go to the meets, because oftentimes the girls may not run at the same time as the boys, or they possibly could even be in different locations. And it's been difficult for him to be able to handle those situations in the past couple of years. So there's 10 boys, there's 10 girls this year who are competing, and talking to Mr. Snyder, what he'd like to see us do, if the board would be agreeable, is just to post for an assistant coach's position. Not knowing down the road, there may be a time where there may not be any boys who are running cross-country. It could just be girls, or it could just be boys, as opposed to hiring both a boys and a girls coach. So I talked to Bill, Mr. Linville today. We're back to our original suggestion to the board, and that'd be that we approve an assistant cross-country coach position for a salary of $500, because a head coach makes $1,000, which would be in line with our other sports and how we pay our head coaches and assistants.
Well, I agree, needs help. So assessment will be fine with me.
Yeah, since he's not classified as boys or anything, that's consistent with the system, but neither. Okay. Good, everybody. Larry's nodding his head.
We'll have it on the next board agenda for your approval.
Come out another posted thing too.
I'm out. That's all I have.
Sean's got.
Sean's still got paper to write, yes.
I'm in Florida next week. I need everything I can get for a full week. Stack them up.
We decide what time we're doing the extra board meeting on Wednesday?
6 p.m.
Okay, that's good. All right. Christian, Fred, Larry, 6 o'clock, all right with you all?
It's fine.
Carol, okay with you? Okay. Is that all you had, Jim?
That's all.
Okay. Board members, nothing else? Okay. Well, let's then adjourn until August the 10th, 2016, at 6 p.m. here at the county office in Hamlin, and hopefully back in the boardroom again. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Larry? Second by Rowdy. All yes?
Yeah.
All yes.
That is a Wednesday, so don't show up too.
There's no guarantee.